Here's our worksheet from yesterday. And for our do now, what we basically did is just go through and do as many of these problems as you can, try and get some practice in. Also, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to write day 8 on my paper so I can keep track in my files that we used it on this day too. So Thursday, November 7th. Okay. So yesterday we talked a little bit about midpoint formula. We just did one question together. Your exit ticket was the second one. So I'm not going to run through that because I'll be grading those. But let's go ahead down the line on this worksheet and practice a few together. Make sure we're all feeling okay about it. Okay. Have both of you done number 3, or is this one we didn't try yet? You did that one? You were working on the angle packet, and that is fine. I know the angle one's kind of fun to do because you get to draw.
Also, I just attacked the one that has the most problems.
Perfect. That's smart. Let's look at number 3. So go ahead and get that midpoint sheet out. And we're going to look at this line segment here they gave us. I want to find the midpoint of the coordinates 1, 2, and 4, 9. So, Greg, since you already completed this one, am I right about that?
Yeah.
Can you walk me through what you decided to do first?
Well, first I labeled the X and Y.
Yes, perfect. That's one of the best first steps is just labeling your X's and your Y's so we don't accidentally put them in the wrong place in our formula. So what'd you do next?
Or math problem, which
Yeah.
is 1 + 4 / 2.
All right, so 1 + 4. I'm going to color code it, so sorry, I'm a little slow. 1 + 4 / 2.
And then 2 + 9 / 2.
Perfect. 2 + 9 / 2. Awesome. So you just took those X's and put them in and took the Y's and put them in. Okay. So what did you do next?
Solve that, which was 5 / 2
Uh-huh.
and 11 / 2.
So 5 / 2 and 11 / 2. And did you go any further with that one?
5.
Perfect. So what are those decimals going to be?
2.5.
Uh-huh.
5.
Perfect. 2.5 and 5.5. So this would be our midpoint for number 3. That is excellent. And we can check to make sure this is right by graphing it and making sure it does fall in the middle of our line segment. So let's do that. I'm going to zoom in on this because these graphs are really little. Okay, so whenever I'm counting on my graph and I'm trying to plot a point, where's kind of my starting point to count? Yeah, right in the middle here. Perfect. And where did you go to figure out how to plot 2.5 and 5.5?
Give me off the birthday. I noticed I went by 2, so
Yeah, it is going by 2 here. So let's see, we've got these like mini lines in between. My X is 2.5, so I'm going to go over 2.5 spaces. That would be 1, 2, and somewhere in the middle of there. That's about how far over my X value is. And it looks like my Y is 5.5, so should I go up 5.5 or down? Up, perfect. So up 1, up 2, up 3, up 4, up 5, and a half-ish. So we know that's right because it fell perfectly in the middle of our line segment. Nice job. Perfect, perfect. How about we run through just one more of those? And then we're going to do the last new thing in here. So, and I want to ask you too, Ella, because I know Greg kind of led us through this one. How are you feeling about midpoint?
Not too hard.
Not too hard. Yeah, it's just kind of plugging numbers in and making sure you keep track of everything. Just kind of being organized with it. So that's good. Okay. How about
Notice you
number?
Stopped in halfway the power color coded.
I did. I did stop color coding. That was 5 was red. 2.5 was red. Here, I'll put the colors back in. 11 was blue for Y. 5.5 was blue for Y. There we go. Now my colors are there. All right, let's look at number 4. This will be the last one we do for midpoint. It seems like you guys have got this. Let's see. So I've got a line segment with the coordinates -9, 1 over here and 2, 10 up here. So this time, Ella, could you guide me through this one? How would I solve this?
2, 9 plus 2.
Perfect. -9 plus 2 over 2. Wonderful.
Only plus
Perfect. And then 1 plus 10. So my y's. 1 plus 10, also over 2. Excellent. Okay. So what'd you do next now that you got your numbers plugged in?
9 plus 2 should be 7.
Yes, -7 over 2.
And then 1.
Perfect. 11 over 2. And what would our final answer be? Call them back later.
-3 and 5.
Mhm. Perfect. -3.5, 5.5. And then since we've got so much work on here, we want to really be in the habit of circling our answers. So we'll circle that. Perfect. Okay, so let's plot this point. When I start in the middle for my x value, should I be going to the left or the right?
And I know which way to go, I just don't know the names.
That's okay. So, oh, let me show you a trick because I used to really be horrible with my lefts and rights.
Two hands because I hold it up and then it's just like
Right? I do the same thing. So I don't use the hand trick. Are you
I
a
have one of my hands marked, like with a ring or
Smart.
something, to allow me to know which hand's which.
are you right-handed when you write or are you left-handed?
Oh no, so I use
Okay, so you're using this hand. So I remember this is how I keep my lefts and rights straight because I mess them up too. I say right is the hand I write with. Right is the hand I write with. So I know it's on this side. And you also write with your right hand. So I just like it's like a mantra I keep in my brain. Right is what I write with. And then left is the other one. The finger trick, it's great. Like I know this is a L for left, but that one never stuck for me. I don't know.
It's more of if you look at it, that one can
Yeah.
answer it, and then this one.
Right.
My brain just mixes things up.
That's all right. That's all right. So to the right is our positive numbers. To the left is our negative numbers. Which way should we go? Left. Perfect. So I'm going to go over to the left, -3.5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I went too far. 1, 2, 3 and a half. Somewhere in between. And then up or down for my y. Perfect. I'm gonna go up 5.5. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half-ish. And we know we did it right because that is looking like a perfect midpoint to me. Awesome, guys. Wonderful. Okay. Do we have any questions about that process, or do both of you feel pretty good about it?
Very good.
Okay, awesome. So let's shift gears for a moment. This is going to be the last thing I teach you in Unit 1. Have any of you done any of the problems on the back page, 13 through 16? Okay, good. Have you done any of those, Greg? 13 to 16?
It still say fine.
Yes, they
Which
do.
one on the midpoint?
Yes, the midpoint worksheet. Okay, good, good. I don't want you to yet because I'm going to have you change the words on here and we're going to use it for the next thing. So for number 13, 14, 15, and 16 on your midpoint worksheet, what I'm going to have you do is cross off midpoint for all of these problems. And we're going to write something different.
I'll just use white.
You could just use whiteout. You guys do have whiteout in your.
That's what I'm gonna do because I don't feel like saying stuff like that. Just looks
Yes.
weird. And it
Yep,
stresses me
I'm
out.
with you. So there is whiteout in those rectangular colored bins.
Have you seen whiteout try to scrape itself away when you go to put it?
Yes, that
Because
is the worst.
I went to write something else
Uh-huh.
not too long ago, and it when I went to do the second line, it said the script.
Oh, I hate that. Okay, so instead of saying find the midpoint of these 2 points, we're going to replace each of these with find the distance between. Distance between. I'm going to do that on all of them. Find the distance between. Is it doing the same thing to you this time? Ah, I hate that.
And sometimes I'll do like a second layer over it because it doesn't fully white out.
Right. Usually use the liquid whiteout, but then I get impatient and I don't let it dry, and then it gets all. It's not a good deal.
Honestly, I don't feel when I tried making slime, I used to like use activated and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I got a little curious what it tastes like. But I put some in my mouth.
Oh my gosh, Ella.
It was not. As long as you didn't drink it, Lord, it wasn't toxic.
What made you decide to do that?
Oh.
Oh, you are a goofball.
Like a few months.
You crack me up. It's like when you're a kid playing with Play-Doh and you just can't help it. You've got to try a piece. You got to put some in your mouth. It's just so enticing. All right. Once we've got those all written out, I'm going to give you the distance formula. Now, this one looks scary. I'm not going to lie to you. It looks kind of scary, but we're going to break it down, and I promise you it is not as bad as it looks.
It says have money for child.
Hey, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a wonderful thing. So here is the distance formula. I'm going to put it right here. Distance for so whenever we are trying to figure out the distance between 2 coordinates or 2 points, we're going to do something that looks a little scary. It looks like this. We're going to start with a big square root. Like that. And inside your square root, 2 sets of parentheses like this. Now, in your first set of parentheses, we're going to do x2 minus x1 squared. So I'm going to put a little 2 outside my parentheses above my x2 minus x1 like this. Then in my second parentheses, the y2 minus y1 also squared. It's crazy looking.
Oh man. I hate those.
Oh, I know. Not many people love them, but that's okay. We'll be very comfortable with using this by the end of today. It looks scary, but I promise it's not. Especially when we have calculators. They are very nice and helpful.
I learned one math class I took.
Uh-huh.
No calculator unless you have
Ooh.
like have it in like a order or something saying you
Right.
these go.
Man,
And
I
it's
couldn't
just-
do it.
So half the tests we learned a lot of calculating.
Okay. Now, for the first problem, I don't want to squish the work together too much. So I'm actually going to start a page of notes, and we will title this page Finding the Distance Between Two Coordinates. And I will write it out and give you guys a minute to write what I'm writing. So this will be kind of like a little guide that you'll be able to use when we have questions like these on the quiz. Okay, so I am gonna write. First, I'm gonna write that it's day 7. No, is it day 8 today or day 7? Day 8. Oh my lord, losing it. Day 8.
On the page, that's the day.
Oh no, that's no good. Thursday, November 7th. Yes, November 7th. Geometry. And again, I just need to do this because if I don't, I'll lose the paper. So, what did you say? Right, when all your paper's from the notebook, you're good to go.
Make sure it's up there.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, I am going to write on here, finding the distance between points. And the first thing I'm going to write on my guide is I like to start with just a simple reminder. It might seem silly, but sometimes when you get into the zone and you're taking a quiz or a test or something, things start to disappear from your brain. So I like to give myself the key that X is first, Y is second, just in case I have a little brain emptying moment. So now I'm going to have you copy that distance formula down one more time. Might seem silly, but the more you write things, the better it sticks in your brain. So
when I did the packet, I was writing with formula that A plus B.
right. That's good. See, those kinds of practices are going to really help you. That's one of the best ways to study is to just rewrite notes. Distance formula. And we're going to write it again. So, square root X minus x squared plus y minus y squared. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys get to that point, and then we're gonna try that first problem on our back of our worksheet. Pause this and grab something while y'all are. Okay, so let's look at number 13. We want to find the distance between -3, 3 and -5, 2. So I'm going to rewrite those coordinates on my paper. I will label this 13 so I remember what question we're working with. We've got the coordinates -3, 3 and -5, 2. And with the distance formula, it's going to be a little bit more important that we're very careful about which x and which y is x1 or x2 or y1 or y2. So we always want to start with labeling our coordinates. I'm going to call my first one, my -3 is going to be my x1. My -5 will be my x2. Same thing with the y's. Y1, Y2, just like that. So now we're just going to plug it in. And then we'll talk about how to make sure we're doing every part of this equation in the proper order. So,
Have you ever ran out of whiteout?
yes, I have.
Students are using it too much.
Never the rolling whiteout. I haven't ran out of those yet, but my liquid whiteout, I've definitely run out of that myself. Not good. Okay, so let's start with the first parentheses in our formula. I've got x2 minus x1. So which number should I write first?
-5.
Yeah, let's put -5 minus -3. Yes. So Ella, that's awesome that you recognize that. Whenever we have minus a negative, I like to think of these two little signs. They want to be friends, so they like to just come in and give each other a hug. If you minus a negative, it's the same thing as plus. So it would turn into -5 plus 3. So something I like to do is just put a little cross through it so I know I'm really just adding 3. And don't want to forget our squared. Now let's do our y's. So my y2 is what? Yeah, perfect. 2 minus 3. Okay. So this is going to be a little reminder of our order of operations here. So remember, whenever we are looking at a problem where there's multiple different operations happening, and by operations, I'm still talking about addition, subtraction, exponents, square roots, all of those things, we want to make sure that we're starting with what is supposed to come first, or we're not going to get the proper answer.
Oh, you're using it.
Yes, I am, because I want to have some space down here. So,
Now you're the one that drives.
yes. So remember, our order of operations goes like this. We have PEMDAS. You guys remember learning about that? Oh, yeah. PEM, and I put M and D together, and I put A and S together because these happen at the same time. So step 1, P for parentheses. What should I be doing first in here?
Solving your parentheses.
Yeah, we want to solve what's in our parentheses first. So let's start with -5 plus 3. You guys tell me what that's going to give me.
Negative.
Perfect. -2 squared. I'm just going to write this out step by step. So now I've got -2 squared plus, what's 2 minus 3?
Negative.
-1. Perfect. Squared. And then we've still got that big square root on the outside. So we're one step closer. Now we need to, what are we doing next? I'm asking you guys.
Square. I vote for them.
Yeah, we want to do our exponents next. So we've got -2 squared and -1 squared. What numbers am I going to get for those? You guys know how to put those in a calculator? Or maybe you know these off the top of your head.
-4 squared.
So let's think about it. You're really close, actually. Whenever I am squaring a number,
What about to make it a +4?
it
Because
would.
it says it'd be 4 and 1 because 1 times 1 is 1 still.
Exactly. So let's talk about this here too. Whenever I square a number, what's happening here is my little number, my squared, or my to the second power, is telling me I'm going to do -2 times itself twice.
Okay.
So really what I'm doing is -2 times -2. And what would that give me?
It makes it positive.
Yeah,
Now if it was
our negatives
-2
will
times
cancel.
-2 times -2, it still remain negative.
Yes, because, yep, you're awesome, Ella. So we have right here -2 times -2, and that'll give us +4. Because a negative times a negative makes a positive. And then how about that -1 squared?
It turned to +1.
Yes, it would, because -1 times -1 is +1. And does that cause any confusion? We can talk a little more about it. Is that making sense to you, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so now we have the square root of 4 plus 1.
Isn't any multiplication?
Yes. Is there any multiplication or division here?
No.
No. So we're going to move on to addition and subtraction. And what's 4 plus 1? 5. So now I have the square root of 5. Just put it in your calculator. Exactly.
I didn't get it.
Okay, I'll show you. Hang on. Put in calculator. I'm going to make sure to put it up on the video so we can look back at it later. So let's look at our calculators here. So you will notice on your calculator that there is a button right next to the 7 that says x squared. And in blue, right above that, let me make this a little brighter and not blurry. So right here, right above x squared, you see a little square root symbol. So what you're going to do is hit the second button on your calculator, the blue second button, and then hit this x squared right here. And that's going to give you a square root sign. Then you just got to type in your number. In this case, it's 5, and hit equals. And that's going to be your answer. So we got 2.2360679. It goes on for a while. I'm going to have you just write the first 2 decimal points. And I want you to round it. You know what I mean by round it?
1, 2, 4.
Yes.
5 because it's the number to go up.
Exactly.
5, it remains the same.
Exactly. So, yeah, we want 2 decimal points because our answer on our calculator came out to be 2.236. We're going to change the 3 to a 4 as we round up, since the next number is bigger than 5. You remember doing rounding at all?
Even if it was just 5, you'd still go up.
Yes, you would still go up. Okay, so that would be our answer, 2.24. Awesome. Okay, you guys got any questions about that process? Awesome. Let's do one more together. And then I'm going to give you guys an exit ticket and get you on your way.
Sounds great.
Oh, you hungry? I'm hungry too. I did not eat breakfast.
I ate part of a jelly-filled donut, but then it started to disgust me while I was paying in my mouth, so I had to stop.
Not fun. Okay, let's do 14 real quick. So we're going to start with our big square root, and we want to plug in our correct x and y values. Easier to see. There we go. Okay. So I labeled my x1 and x2. Now I'm going to label my y1 and y2. So in my first parentheses, what numbers am I writing?
0.
Mm-hmm.
-2.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. Okay. So we have two options here, actually. If we wanted to follow exactly what the formula said, yeah, we can actually do it either way, though. You could do x1 minus x2 as long as you also do y1 minus y2. It doesn't necessarily matter which one you put first as long as you do it the same way for both parentheses. So do you want to do it with x1 first this time?
No.
Okay, we'll do it the normal way. We'll do -2 minus 0, which that's just going to be -2. -2 minus 0. And what will go in our second parentheses? Got 1 for y2. We've got minus, what's my y1 again? Perfect, -10. And we have another case now where I've got minus a negative. So we'll change that to a plus. And if remembering that rule of turning minus a negative into a plus has got you hung up, you can always just type it in your calculator. You'll get the right answer. Okay, so now let's go one step further. What's -2 minus 0? -2, and it's still squared. Plus, what is 1 plus 10? 11, also squared. Okay, so to this point, and what am I going to do next? Oh,
So,
yeah, we're going to use our little 2's, our exponents. So -2 squared would be 4. Good. And then 11 squared. Let's see. That's going to be a bigger number. I got 121. Perfect. We still got a square root. So now we just need to find the square root of 125. I'm going to run through how to do that on your calculator one more time. If you've got it, you don't have to look, but I'm going to still show it anyway. So I need to hit second and my square root button, which is on x squared. And I'll just type 125.
You're not typing a negative when you type in square root.
Oh, you can, but that's going to give you an imaginary number. That is something you learn about in algebra 2. So here, let's see what happens. Second square root negative
I'm trying to do 15.
15. Okay, let's see. You shouldn't come up with a negative answer inside your square root since we
Since it's only
squared our numbers in that
Oh, yeah,
second
I
step.
turned it to the bottom.
Ah.
You forget.
No, that's all right. Yeah, so if I tried like, I don't know, I'm going to put negative 15 in there. Yeah, you're going to get an error because that number won't exist. You cannot find the square root of a negative number. That is a whole rabbit hole that we would have to walk down to talk about that. But maybe we can one day. I want to get you guys out of here in a minute though. So let's do this. So square root of 125 is perfect. 11.18. And that would be your answer. Perfect. All right, your exit ticket today. I'm just going to have you do number 15. So this will be your day 8 exit ticket. Finding the distance between the 2 points, 0, 1, and -5, -10. And when you guys are done with that, you are free to go. Exit ticket day 8. Perfect.
How many of your outcomes did you do?
A lot actually. I still have like 20 students. My other classes, the attendance wasn't as good, but
Well, like birthday.
I know. And today was November 7th. All right, that is it, you guys. I'm gonna end the recording there, and you are free to go.